Okay, so we are gonna play a game today. Just give me 1 second. I think this is not working, so I'm gonna present it regularly. So you have been warned. Any resemblance that you have of this presentation that comes or the game that we play and you think this is directed at me, I am not responsible. I am putting up that way before this. And I've already told Sharon that don't serve me a notice letter out. This
Oh
in
my God,
language
now
from
you've piqued
Tata.
our interest and we are even more interested, Bhavna, and we love games.
Yes, so all the characters, everything spoken in this, the characters are fictitious. I'm gonna read out the disclaimer. And
Disclaimer.
any similarity, living or dead, is purely coincidental. You have been warned, and no animals or living beings were harmed making this presentation, or I hope during this presentation. So please, no hard feelings. We are here to have fun and learn alongside. So I don't know how many of you are aware of this game, Never Have I Ever. And you can raise your hands if you know, and you can put it up on chat box. Sorry, I can't see it, so Sharon, you will have to manage
Yes,
this category with me and let me know on these things.
sure. Yeah.
So never have I ever. So I will basically be your game master, and we will go through a presentation which would cater to different aspects of our life and communication, not only being the communication that we think comes in flyers and hoardings and everything that we spoke about. Communication is something we learn slowly as we grow, when we after we are born, from saying ah ba 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 to making those words, learning those languages, that those mother tongues that are taught to us. Some of us start becoming masters of it. Some of us struggle with it. Some of us still struggle with it, including me. And it's a constant process. And some of us also hesitate to communicate our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, and it becomes an internal communication within. So we look into everything together, and we are here to conquer all of that. Everybody is with me, I hope. So before I begin, like I said, never have I ever narrated something that wasn't understood. So how many of you resonate with this statement? I want some comments, please. And there is a game master, guys, including me, who's supporting me, who's scoring an overall game. So you might win something if you score more or less. I will tell that at the end of the presentation. Do we have some yes, no's on the chat, Sharon?
Yes, so we have it for the previous question. Could you say your question, repeat your question again for now?
So never have I ever narrated something that wasn't understood. How many of you say yes, and how many of you say no?
Oh, we have some no's coming in. We have Jihan, Dr. Pooja, Rahim saying no, Nasreen saying no as well. We have 4 no's so far.
It's understood
We
well,
have
though.
2 yes, 2
The whole
yeses
point
coming
of
in.
it. So let me narrate it so it gets understood. So you narrated something, and the other person in the front totally got it. So that will be a no to answer this. And if you narrated something that wasn't understood, that person didn't get it, that's where you say yes. If you
Yes,
want
so
to
we have
revise
a
your
couple of yeses, but mainly 3 yeses, 5 no's.
That's okay, Sharon. We can, we can score. So I have a game master who I'll introduce in a bit, who's scoring, and then we will see who to give goodie bags. She is the sole handler of goodie bags in this organization. You will find out who she is. So welcome to the best day of your life. Not because I'm presenting today this morning, of course, because of that, but also because Every day of your life, every second of your life is important. So welcome to the best day of your life. And today you're learning something new. You chose me, you chose this presentation to join in today. You're giving us your time to learn and change something in your life. That's an amazing effort. So you can pat yourself on the back. So as you can see, this is me. This is me. I'm Bhavna. I'm your game master here, but I have game masters who is, I think Vidya, you should turn on your video for a bit. And she can't share her screen, but Vidya, can you turn on your video? So everybody can see who the lady with the treasurer of the goodie bags is. Don't hound her, please. And my parallel game master, you've all met Sharon, but I would want some of you to introduce yourselves. And a lot of you, most of you I have met and spoken to during the orientations. So can somebody turn on their video and would be willing to share their introduction? Just introduce yourself in 2 or 3 lines. Vidya, if you get to that, maybe you can do it. Our top game participator, Sony, would you like to do it? We can just hear the audio. You don't need to share your screen. I would allow that.
Yeah, sure. Hi, good morning,
Can you
everyone.
not see my PPT when I
Oh,
was
no, no.
Because
presenting?
No, I thought you stopped sharing. We see
No,
only you.
now I did, but did you guys see my presentation?
No.
Oh, that's such a shame. Now, the disclaimers,
Yes.
did you guys see?
No.
Go
So we
back.
see it now. We see it now.
Oh, okay. That's a shame. That's communication. So, like I said, you have been warned. We are going to play Never Have I Ever game. This was the question, narrated something that wasn't understood. Your best day of life. I'm your game master, and I don't see Vidya still. Is she here? Is her
I
video
think
on?
Sony is in.
Sony is in. Sony, can you please introduce yourself?
hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Sunny. Yeah, I like quiz show actually, watching quiz show. So that's the reason why I can easily sometimes get the answer right.
Thank you, Sony. Thank you for that. Vidya, can you introduce yourself? I don't hear sound.
Vidya might be having some trouble with her mic because it's unmuted, but we can't hear anything.
Yes. Anybody else would like to introduce themselves? I'm seeing people's name. Maybe I will choose and pick.
Hi, Bhavna.
Okay.
Dr. Pooja here.
Hi, Dr. Pooja. Thank you for joining in. Please introduce yourself.
No, I'm liking your presentation a lot. It's a very interesting topic.
Thank you.
And you know, it makes you curious to know what the game is up. And obviously, everybody loves games. It will break the monotony. So if you want me to introduce myself, I am a OB/GYN specialist. That's my professional profile. But otherwise, you know, I'm like any other regular person who enjoys games, who enjoys reading, enjoys traveling. So I'm up for this. Let's see what the game is.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja. That was an amazing introduction. So why did I ask people to introduce themselves? You would wonder, right? That's the important part of communication, guys. If you are not able to say who you are, how would people understand who you are? And the entire question of why people get into spirituality is to find out who am I more than bhavna or what I've been named or how just being a mother or a marketing manager or whoever. So for those of you who don't know me, just in case, I'm Bhavna. I am the marketing manager at Fakir University Hospital, who's about to break a lot of rules right now. And I also practice a lot of alternative healing modalities on the side. That's an interest to help relieve my stress and other people's stress. I get stressed a lot, like you can see. And I'm also a mother of a 3-year-old, so I'm learning the entire parenting thing. So any tips on the side, most welcome. Sharon helps me a lot with that. So house rules of the game. We need to do all of this before we start and go through the entire presentation. Please let me know at any point in time the audio goes off or the video goes off or anything. So the house rule, the first and important thing is that we need to be true while we are answering these. You will score yourself. Vidya is just scoring an overall thing, so you will score yourself. And if you wish to put your answers in yes or no, put it on the chat box and trust the process and enjoy it more than how to communicate. You will learn, I'm pretty sure you will learn something more here. And we are all here to have fun. That's what games are for, right? So, and please and please and please, again, the disclaimer, don't take it to your heart. It's not directed to you. If you feel it that way, your point of views are creating a reality. I have to add access consciousness everywhere because I'm an access consciousness facilitator. I will flash questions, never have I ever questions, and you will put a yes or no answer in the chat box, or you can rate yourself, you can do a tally. You may not have been asked to elaborate on your answer. That's the key of winning the game. Do not elaborate. Do not get into the story. So follow along and let's have fun. So first, never have I ever kept it real and relevant. So in terms of communication, yes or no answers in the chat box. While you do that, let me give you a scenario. Maybe your interview. How many of times have we kept it real and relevant to the answers that have been asked during our interviews? Or how many times have we exaggerated our achievements, and how many times have we underrated our achievements and not spoken about it? And this also goes when we talk to our family members or our friends, when we are socially sitting and narrating our stories of the stress at work or the amazing achievement that we've done. Do we have some answers?
Yes, a lot of no's that are coming up.
Ah, everybody knows how to win the game. Well, we will have a checking mechanism for this. So the first rule is be true to yourself. Okay, so keeping it real, why is it important? Is because sooner or later people will get it. So when we say never have I ever narrated something and people haven't understood, because people disconnect if it is not something that matches their reality. So it is very important when you are communicating, first of all, you should know who you are communicating with, because you might say that this is a vanilla ice cream and I love it so much, but that other person has in their mind, vanilla is the most plain flavor I've ever had. So how can you even say that, right? So you need to keep it real. And in terms of relevancy, like social media and all we do talk about, like it has to be relevant to what other people are talking about. Like I hope this presentation becomes relevant to you, but I cannot keep on going talking about something which is irrelevant to you. You will definitely log off this presentation. Some of you might would have already switched off. I definitely know that. So keeping it real and relevant in any form of communication. Now, when we say communication, and we'll just spend a little more time over the slide, is the communication that you do in your day-to-day life. You learn to communicate from maybe being from the time you were born, you communicated through crying, and all of us communicated through crying, and maybe we have controlled our crying, but we now do it in terms of words. So so even there, like what are we crying for, and what are we actually want? What do we actually want? What do we actually need out of a certain situation? What is the relevance of this entire story I'm telling you, or this presentation? The relevance of this presentation is so that we can all communicate better, not only at work, but also with our families, our friends, with everybody that we come across, so that we are understood in a way we want to be understood. Because 99.9% of the times, we are really not communicating it in a way that we want to communicate. Maybe even I might not be reaching everybody's head because I'm thinking it in a certain way and you're receiving it in a certain way, and we all have multiple layers of consciousness there to judge each other. So now this question has been answered. We'll go to next. Just a second. Should I read it aloud? Never have I ever sent long emails or messages or letters if you were born in the 80s and 90s. I used to write letters. I know you're thinking love letters. I've not done that.
We have a mixed bag this time. So we have a few no's, a few yeses.
So we know there are only two people who send long messages, guys. Okay, I'm gonna tell you who are they. One who know about this tool called as AI, and two who studied so hard the communication in the college. People like Vidya who have a degree of it, who cannot stop themselves from narrating it. Like I said, no harm was done here, yeah. So we've got, I think, all the answers. Why I say long is there are also these long post alerts that you see on your social media, and I hope some of you would have seen those. Sometimes we really want to narrate our story. We really want to mean again, like, make the other person understand, oh, I'm feeling this and da da da. This, da da. You said this, da da. Long emails, long messages, long communication. But if you keep it to the point, even those long emails, maybe in the length they are longer, but if you cut them down into points, first of all, you will understand them better. So whenever there is an alert, you can show yourself a hand like this when you're writing a longer email or you're using an AI tool. I love AI. Okay, guys, I didn't use that for this, but use it. But you can ask the AI, prompt it to please put it in pointers so it is better for you to understand and the other person to understand. Also, when you're discussing it with your spouse, you can tell them, hello, you did this, and I did not like it. So next time, please don't do this. It will be easier rather than narrating the whole story. You did this to me. I felt like this happened, that happened. Nobody's interested in the solving story or even an interesting story. Okay, you. Next question is, never have I ever understood privacy. RIP after that, Chris. That is what we're here to learn how to do it. There is something called as manipulation. So a lot of times, specifically with, I think I'm going to keep giving the example of the spouse because he's not here. Sometimes we start peeking into our husband's phones to, we have, all the wives have this in their head that they might be cheating. So most of the wives maybe. So understood privacy. The same way it also goes like, we all sit in open offices and there is this open work culture. We go to somebody's desk and the first thing we're doing is, instead of talking to them eye to eye, we are looking into their PC and, oh, you were emailing this, oh, you were on WhatsApp, oh, this, and then we make an entire story out of it. You know what? We will go somewhere else. You know what? This person was actually doing this. We don't even know that maybe that person was just taking their minimal 5-minute break by just being on WhatsApp with somebody. So, or we don't know what was the context of what discussion was going on over there. So privacy has a wide range in terms of communication. It drills down from the thing, and we talk about it here in the hospital. We have privacy policies, and the most important thing is like the patient privacy. So even though me as a staff, as a patient, I'm going to a reception, I still want to own my privacy. I don't want people to know that's me as a person. Even if I have had, a fever or a cough or COVID that actually happened to me last week. So privacy is very essential, specifically in our setting. So whenever, whatever we are communicating, and there is a full policy which our quality and regulation team has across our different channels, that you should take some time to read it and ensure that even if we are in the lift, we are discussing with each other, oh, this patient, she's opting, like, I heard this over a conversation, and I'm gonna hit some nerves here. But I heard this conversation over a lift where two doctors were discussing, sorry, doctors, but needs to be said that some patient wanted an abortion. And it's a sensitive topic. I don't know the patient, but still. So we sometimes as humans we do this, and it's not only that. Sometimes we are over call and we are discussing something about this budget, that budget, this, that. Everything comes into the category of privacy. Maybe I'm on a call and I'm fighting with my husband. That is also privacy. You can't shut down your ears, but I have to control my privacy as well. So, first of all, you're responsible for your privacy. So take those measures accordingly, and also be mindful of everybody else's uh, privacy. How many yes and no's we had here? Not always. Okay, so because I spoke about privacy, there is also like we go around taking pictures of people, of places. Every time consent is required. People might be hesitant of giving their pictures. They don't even know where it's going to be used. So taking the pictures, and that goes very internal, right from our operation theaters to our patient rooms to our pavilion, when you're taking the beautiful surrounding as a presentation, as a photography thingy. You have to be mindful that somebody sitting behind those beautiful wooden frames that we have knows that you're taking a picture and it's not of them. We have such great zoom features, right? So consent, verbal or written, is very, very important, specifically in a healthcare setting. Um, Taking consent not only for taking pictures, but also about sharing somebody's story, sharing somebody's case. And my audit friends, if they are here, they'll be very happy. Guys, we have boxes of box files where we actually need to store these consents. There are consent forms in our form folders and public folder, also in the marketing folder. Please take a copy of consent form whenever, wherever you're talking to a patient, taking their testimonial, or we do it as a practice, but wanted to inform this also in this setting, that anything that is shared, even if the patient face is not shown, and you remove the fibroid of that patient and you want to put it there, being a nurse or a doctor, it's a wonderful achievement. I know, I understand, but we need the consent. It's a written policy. It is also not perceived well outside. It can also put us into legal matters. So let's be mindful of that. I know it's going somewhere very bad. But I am here talking about some steak, guys. Steak lovers, anyone? Yes or no for steak lovers, please? I'm a chickenitarian, so I don't know much about steak, but I do know that you people like it medium or rare, with some blood on it, some juicy steak, right?
I think
See.
Chris has hit a yes for that.
I have been told. I have been told. So if there is something bloody on your plate, let it be steak, and may you have more of it if you love it. But nobody likes to see those stuff. Maybe my doctors here would really hate me for saying this, or my surgeons here, but no, we don't like it. Even the women, and I'm gonna go a little. We see it every month, but we don't like it, people. So please don't put such kind of stuff across your social platform specifically. Achievements can be highlighted even with or without a patient testimonial. You can write a post This presentation has been made on Canva. You can use Canva as a tool and just write and make a beautiful presentation. And you can say that I have done this and this was removed. But I recently saw somebody sharing a dermoid cyst, and that was my first time seeing that coming out of somebody, and it was horrendous. So let's not do that, and I'll not spend much time here. It's not enjoyable, and we are here to enjoy. So we will enjoy this. Never have I ever ranted on social media or Google reviews. Zomato reviews, anybody? The Zomato reviewers? Thank you, Dr. Pooja, Nasreen, Chris, for your active participation. I'm so grateful. Dr. Anusha, Satish. Satish, would you like to share the story about what did you rant about? Okay, I will be very truthful here because that was the first rule. I recently, and I am a so-called Google reviewer, and I recently had a very bad experience with a telecom company. So the first thing I did is to vent it out. I went to the Google review and I put everything there. Then I went to the Twitter, which I only use for this, and I went it out and put it out there because I know those guys are listening, and those guys don't want their customers to see the bad reviews. So they will come to me, and it's the easiest thing to do. Sometimes you would be the nicest person on the desk, or that might be, and my patient service team might be happy to hear this, but sometimes people might be the most nicer way if they are talking, and then they will go back and put up a nasty review on Press Gaming link, or they would put a nasty review on Google. Or when we ask them so many times, please give us a Google review, they'll be like, this person was just helping me because he wants a good Google review. This has happened to me at Home Box, I think. One guy was just trying to help me out just so that he can get a good Google review, which I did not perceive well in terms of the communication. So yeah, not here. You people are such nice people. But yeah, ranting on social media is something as I am attacking myself, but it's something that even there we need to think of why we are doing it and what is it for. Will there be an action taken really, or will it help people or not? And we'll go to the last slide. When we go to the last slide, we'll talk about this more. Shame someone publicly. We do appreciate people a lot across different platforms, but sometimes there are people, evil people, who also go and shame people publicly. That might even happen in the hospital setting where you hear the quote, why the aggressive behavior, wherein a person standing is shaming the other person, saying, you are just a nurse, you're just a receptionist, what do you know, I want to talk to the manager, and blah blah. We do this um, you've seen people doing this at restaurants, or you just had a bad day and you're a senior in the in your team, and then you just went it out in front of 10 other people to your subordinate. This comes under that. Thank you, Chris, for being so honest. Thank you, Dr. Anusha, for being so honest. Even though we are saying no, definitely, that even goes with our kids, sometimes we just shout at them in public. If you guys have kids, or you would have seen parents, like, what are you doing? You cannot be this bad. But the effect it has on people, or if somebody does that to you, lasts a lot longer than we know. Next one, never have I ever given credits. I have very less time left. Okay, so this is about if you're copy pasting anything. Okay, we don't give credits to ChatGPT, but if you're copy pasting anything, I think we should get into a place. We know everybody is using ChatGPT like Google. If it is of somebody, if there is a picture that you're using of somebody, you give credit. If any text is being used, you give credit. I'm quickly going through this. So, abided by the laws and regulations, we have spoken about it. We break the rules by speeding. That also comes under this. We break the rules by not taking consent. That also comes under this. We cheat with cheat meals. That also might come under this if you have a diet plan, you know. So, I hope Vidya was fast to take the scores, but I think we will get to that later because we have less time. And for everybody who's actively participated, Vidya, can you please take screenshots, and then all of you deserve goodie bags. So that's on the score. You score yourself and see which points were yes or no, and we will have this presentation available. And then you know where in communication you need to work on. Never have I ever kissed. Let's see what the answer is. There are no's, guys. Oh my God. So kiss is basically a very old principle that was introduced in 1960s in Navy. It's not the kiss you're thinking, people. It's good to have a dirty mind, but not at work. Not right now, early in the morning, maybe. So, so it is keep it simple and subtle, keep it simple and silly, keep it simple, and whatever you want to add that other S for, you will see a lot of explanations around. But the key to communication, talking to the spouse, talking to the children, talking to your manager, talking to the HR, talking to the quality, talking to the regulation, talking to the CEO, talking to me, talking to the audience, talking to everybody, is to kiss everything you say. Keep it simple, keep it silly, keep it simple, keep it understood for people. Talking to the mother-in-law. Ah, my mother-in-law is arriving tomorrow. Thank you for the reminder. While we do that, let's not spend so much time in kiss early in the morning. Satish is blowing kiss to everybody, people. So this was something very interesting that I read in this book. So spiritual business management, I don't know, and the credit goes to the master. I'm giving the credit. He is Master Chogoku. He's no more in the world, but his teachings prevail. The 5-way test to anything we do and say, and Rotary Club members, I don't know if we have anybody here. I'm not a club member, but this is a very famous 5-way test of things we do and say. First of all, we ask, is it the truth? Remember the rule? Is it the truth? Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Is it really fair in like ranting out on social media or shaming somebody or sharing bloody hairy stuff? Will it build goodwill and better friendship or better associations or better connections and create a better future for us? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And the last one is recently added, and I'm so happy that these guys are so progressive. Is it or will it be fun? And Mr. Rohit has a nice one. At the 6th, can it wait? Of course, you've got to take your time. But in that, anything before but actually doesn't matter, but still this matters. When you're waiting, don't make it too longer. Because sometimes you're just waiting to communicate something, the entire scenario would have changed. So all the emotions, sometimes the anger needs to come out, but you need to be at peace with it. Sometimes the love needs to come out, but you need to know the balance. So balance, and I will not say balance. Balance is such a overused, you start balancing things like a balancing whatever we used to use back in the day. But more so, I would say moderation. And that was one of the best things in one of the schools I learned, that anything and everything you do it in moderation. All your feelings, express them in moderation. Just like do not keep it so much within you that it come out later as an anger or as like you're vomiting it all out. And I think I would rather add the 6th as anything that you can do or just be kind. When you will practice all of this, just be kind. And I think this is a part of my all presentations. If you're in a world, you can be anything, be kind. And that is your key to communicate and conquer. I think I was real and relevant here. And I hope you got what I wanted to communicate. Thank you everybody for participating, and longer versions over one-on-one.
That was fun, Bhavna. Thank you so much for bringing in this variety on the Be Smart Hub, and also for communicating all that we need to know, refresh, and just make sure that we are in compliance with some of the ground rules to communicating, especially when we're putting it out there into the world. But we do encourage everybody to communicate. I think it's the main essence in any relationship. I'm sure you would agree with that. Whether it's at
Yes.
work, with your colleagues, with your patients, with your family, with your boss. Communication is key. So keep it real, keep it kiss, like Bhavna said, and enjoy the interactions and keep in line with all that Bhavna has mentioned for us to reflect on today. So how are you
Thank you,
feeling now,
everybody.
Bhavna?
I am relieved the burden is out.
That
You
was
didn't
great.
come to
Thank you.
stop me anywhere, so I'm happy. And I hope everybody took something from there. And if HR and our legal teams start getting more communication, I'm sorry.
Well
I
But I
communicated, Bhavna. Well communicated. Thank you.
thank you, doctor. And we
Thank
do
you.
have the scorer with us, and I think I'm going to show her face because her cameras were not working. So, guys, this is Vidya. She was scoring all of you, and she's the treasurer of Goodie Bag. So, please come to her in marketing tomorrow. Slowly. So, she can give you a goodie bag.
We're going to have a line at your desk, Vidya, soon.
Thank
Excellent.
you. Thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Mohammed, at the University Hospital Sharon. For every quarter, I can do something for everybody, and thank you so much. And really, if anybody wants to have longer conversations, I'm here. You know where I sit, open cabinet. So please come by, drop a message.
Thank you. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you again.
Yes, and especially to come forward and to share your knowledge. It takes the effort to say yes to share the topic. So we really appreciate our speakers who come in, make the time to prepare and communicate and share that knowledge with everyone. So if there are any of you out there who are hesitant and saying that, oh, maybe one day I'll be on the Be Smart Hub to share, now is your time. I'm looking for more speakers to bring in more variety. So please reach out to me. We would love to have you on the Be Smart Hub, and we would even help you prepare for it. So come on and take the plunge. And we're looking forward to more new speakers. So that's all on the Be Smart Hub for today, your bi-monthly learning experience. Thank you very much for joining us today. And make sure to have a great week ahead. Take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and stay curious. Adios.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.